Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome you all to the special edition of Talk Maldives. In tonight's edition of this program, we'll focus on the documentary recently aired by Al Jazeera titled Still in Paradise and the government's stand towards the allegations made in the documentary. Tonight from the government side, we'll have Fisheries Minister Dr.Mohamed Shainee here with us in the studio. Very warm welcome to our program, Doctor.
Thank you.
The program by Al Jazeera raises a number of accusations. When we see that, we specifically sees in the Al Jazeera report, Nasheed specifies his government was brought down by a coup because he was brought down by a coup because he was about to release corruption charges by HCP Yamin. He was about to release, he specifically says, how far is true?
Thank you very much for having me here today. I think this is, I don't know, third or fourth version of President Nasheed with regard to why he resigned. First, I want to put on record that there was an inquiry, very well made inquiry commission to see whether it was a coup or not. And I think I will refer to the document and read from it where it says that the change of president in the Republic of Maldives on 7th February 2012 was legal and constitutional. The events that occurred on 6th and 7th February 2012 were in large measure a reaction to the actions of the President Nasheed. The report also says the resignation of President Nasheed was voluntary and his own free will. It was not caused by any illegal coercion or intimidation. So this report, who was chaired, partly co-chaired by a Singapore well-respected judge, this report was accepted by the United Nations, represented by the Commonwealth. A lot of the first world countries, including United States, have accepted this report, including Nasheed in public on air. He has accepted this report. So I don't think there is any claim that he can make on with regard to is a coup or not. Following on, he also in the program says that he was the leader of the coup or of the protest that brought down his government. But in the report, it very nicely referred to this incident, where it says that Dr. Didi, then the Fisheries Minister, attempted to contact MP Maria Didi. You all know who Maria Didi is, but was unsuccessful. He then contacted MP Ibrahim Muhammad Solih, the Parliament Group leader, and communicated this idea to release an all-party joint statement. So this was why there has been any contact to Yamin at the time, an MP or the leader of the PA group. So he also called the leader of PPM Abdullah Yamin and the leader of DRP Ahmad Tasmin. So it was not only him who was communicated, but all the party leaders was communicated. And then it says that they told him that they wanted to speak to the President Nasheed directly. So yes, President Yamin, or now the President Yamin, wanted to talk to President Nasheed. But then when Dr. Didi communicated the same to President Nasheed, the report says, informed him to go to the office of the Indian High Commissioner, DM Mule, who was arranging a similar dialogue. So there was consensus within this group of people that there should be a peaceful settlement, the idea being to give their support to President Nasheed for 3 days, during which he should find a solution. So there was no force, there was no pressure onto him. This was the only place where President Yamin comes into the picture. So the report where it was investigated by an independent commission, a well-respected commission, has already mentioned this and accepted report. So there is no point President Nasheed want to make another story about the coup, and the reason being that it was President Yamin's corruption or whatever accusation he want to make. But paradoxically, the funny thing here is actually even in the public, then President Nasheed himself have claimed that the two key people in this coup, what he called a coup, was MP Riaz, Abdul Riaz, and Colonel Nazim. It's ironic that President Nasheed is out here protecting these people right now. So earlier he pointed out to these two people, the ex-minister Colonel Nazim and MP Riaz. But now MP Riaz is part of the so-called the coalition, and he is negotiating or want to include in the negotiations with the government to release Nazim. So there is no base at all on what he claims. And the other fact of this is that if President Nasheed have anything to give out or leak any information or send an information, what is stopping him doing it? Do you think that because he is not the president, he wouldn't have the information that he was privileged to have while he was the president? How much money did he spend while he was the president to investigate this matter? He sent foreign investigative people, lawyers, judges, spent a lot of money from the state funds to investigate this matter. And President Jammeh, at the time as an MP, has stood up in the parliament. He has responded to all these allegations, and he came out clean. So now President Nasheed wants to say that his government was brought down, or he has to resign because it was a coup, and it was because President Jammeh had some corruption issues that he wanted to release. Why don't he release it now? Why don't he take this to an international court of justice or international panel, which they are doing right now? Nothing stops him doing it. So if there's any truth to it, we would like to see that. So it's just based that allegation here.
Even when we see the reports, there were allegations against MMA as well. It's quite disturbing. How far is true?
Well, again, I think if Al Jazeera has done a good job of actually listening to both sides of the story, they would not be seen in at least the local context as quite funny story, because everyone in this country knows that MMA is only a bank it's a central bank. The only dealings or transactions that happen in this bank is between only government transactions. So as alleged, accused by the reporter or the Al Jazeera report, how could a private party or even a company make any payment and that large amount of payment to MMA and whitewash the money? It's impossible. Quite impossible, because it's not set up as a normal bank. This is the central government bank, and only transaction that happens there is government transactions. I'm sure the authority, the monetary authority, will be coming out with all the facts and giving a statement on this. I mean, but at anyone's level in this country, everyone who understands or been in the government would know that MMA is not a bank like another bank. There cannot be any transaction that happens that happen in this bank apart from the government. So how can someone bring in money and whitewash the money from the bank, from the authority? It's quite impossible. Again, this is baseless accusations. The only reason why this has come out and what this is done is because they want to bring down a legitimate government through economic sanctions or through economic pressure. The only thing what they want to do is to hurt this country's economy, nothing much. They know that if this country is run by President Jammeh the way that it is run, they have no chance of coming to the ballot box in 2018. We will achieve all the economic and social pledges by the president, and we will have a clear majority from the public. So the only thing they can do is try to hurt the economy, and that's what they are doing. And this is not good for anyone, not the government, not for the people of this country.
Other than the alleged corruption charges to HAP, President Jammeh and MA, there are other accusations as well. Are any of those accusations true?
Well, I have to ask first from the listeners or from you as well. I mean, to whom did he make any allegations in the report? Was there anything substantial or even slightest evidence to show that President Jammeh was involved in any of this? Anyone who spoke on the program did not speak about taking money, or I mean, the whole program was about taking money or bribes in a moped. But none of them have said that the money was asked. I mean, the dropouts were asked by the president. No one has said it. It was Adib and his colleagues who was. I mean, the colleagues who were talking about Adib's instruction to them to do whatever they have done. But in none of them actually they have even said, or they have any evidence to suggest or show that it was President Jammeh who instructed them to do any of these payments or make a payment to someone else. Yes, they have claimed that they have made payments to or brought money to the president. But then I just make one point as to ask the audience whether they believe that There was at one statement referring to 100,000. It's just said that he was asked to bring 100. So Oite thought that it was 100K or $100,000. So he said in his own words that he took 2 bundles of this money to the president, and then he said, no, I didn't ask for 100K, I asked for 100 million. But then ask yourself, $100 bill into one bundle, 100 into 100 is 10,000. It's only 20K. It doesn't add up. If it was 2 bundle of $100 notes, it is only 20K. But he was telling himself, or he was telling us that it was $100,000 that he thought he was supposed to take. But when he took 2 bundles of this 100, I mean the maximum you can see is 100 bill notes. He said 100 million. So you can easily I mean see that this report was the statements were completely made up. There was no truth to it.
The TV channel Al Jazeera said that they have given chance for the Maldivian government to respond to those accusations, which was specified in the documentary. Why didn't you respond at the given time?
I give you assurance that we were not given any time to respond to this, or we were not even notified of such a program being aired. The only occasion where we got something from Al Jazeera was only after they have promoted the document on the internet and everywhere else, that there was a program. At that point, yes, they sent us a note, some 17 questions to a mail address in UK or our High Commission. That actually is not the main mail address as well. Maybe it was not supposed to be found, but anyway, yes, they did send something, but that was after they have made this program. So then our lawyers got involved. They have asked some questions, and then those questions need to be answered before actually we could respond to it, because we knew that the program was already made. It was the documentary was going to be aired. So after they make all these reports, then we have a right to know exactly what was in the report or what was in the documentary, so that we can respond to it.
What allegations were you specifically asked to respond?
Yeah, there were 17 questions. There was nothing new in any of those, and that's why we were startled, because we thought that they had, I mean, according to the public, all this rhetoric, there were new information shared, and there was so much going to come out. So we did not believe that already those, small talks, what have been already said, what has been already passed. Have been that these were the questions that they were going to ask. So we were asking, I mean, what are these new evidence? What is that against that you have? What is the evidence that you have against the Maldives? But we did not get a response from that. And our lawyers are involved in this line, so I wouldn't comment much on that now.
I just want to repeat one question actually, because I just want more stress on that matter actually. Any of the claim made against President Yamin Abdul Gayoom in the program was credible?
There was nothing credible presented in the documentary. How can an allegation be credible when the documentary itself is not credible? Like I said, in the whole program, there was nothing shown or given evidence with regard to President Yamin.
There were claims against then Vice President Adib as well. There are financial transactions, corruption charges, a lot of stuffs we have seen. Is any of those, what was mentioned in the program states about Adib, anything was credible as far as you know?
I can't give you specifically on each of those cases, yes, but as we all know, he is convicted of corruption cases in MMPRC, so we have to believe, yes, there were some of these cases, and President Yamin have asked this to be investigated. In fact, he is going through the legal process. Some of convicted, someone still being investigated. So yes, there is some truth to it. And as President Yamin have iterated again and again, we are not proud to say that this has happened in our government. But in which government the corruption cases didn't happen? This is the only president who had the gut or who had the courage to come up and investigate these issues. So that itself shows that President Yamin is not corrupt. He is one person that stood up to corruption and tried to rectify the issue or something that is happening in the country. So there's nothing, no allegation that I see is credible. Even the allegations are not credible for me.
Former President Nasheed proudly keep on saying he was brought down by a coup at a gunpoint. At certain statement he used to say, and even in this documentary he said it. And I just want to make it clear: did President Yamin dictate President Nasheed's sentence?
Well, this again amongst those baseless allegations. I mean, the way that this country is run, President Yamin does not have any dealings into what is happening in the judiciary. So no, President Yamin did not pass on the sentence as he was told. I mean, it was quite funny for me. It was like a drama when President Nasheed thought that it was something that he just knew. We know that this is all choreographed by the opposition, by President Nasheed as well. So he appeared as he was startled to know this information. And what was the evidence beyond reasonable doubt, apart from someone saying that this was the case, that he has to believe that yes, it was President Yamin? There was no. This is again, as I said, a baseless allegations on the government and on the people of the country. In fact, because we are a peace-loving country, our economy is based on tourism. All these allegations point out to actually fracture the economic basis of this country. So this is not only about President Yamin. This is to actually destroy our economy, so that they can come into power. But this country is not going to allow this to happen.
The part of the documentary specifies reports on missing journalist Rilwan as well, and then they says the case is an abduction case. He's not missing. And how do you respond to those accusations that the government had a role in abducting Rilwan?
I'm very sorry to note that actually. I mean, it's not something the government or anyone on humanitarian grounds would like to happen. And this government have done everything that it can to find Rilwan case. I mean, I feel sorry, the government feels sorry that Rilwan is still missing. But we have done all we can to do that, to see what happened to him, to find him. And I also note this is not the first case. I mean, there have been other missing cases as well. And I'm sorry that that has happened as well. But that has nothing to do with this government. Where is evidence? I know that publicly MDP have said that they have got evidence to suggest that it was government's doing. We have requested by letters, we have requested by in negotiations, please provide the information. Let us know. Because we wouldn't be quiet if we knew something. We would want to go and see what has happened. Because any crime is a severe crime in this country, in a very small community, it affects everyone of us. So, I mean, yes, Rilwan still is missing, but we are very sad of the matter as well, and we would like to find out what happened to him. But give us if they have any of those evidence that they suggest, give us the evidence. But then where is the evidence to suggest that it was the government or any of the institution from the government that had any hand in this? None. It's again baseless accusation.
When we see the documentary, when we see the narration, it says implications are heavy here, that the police is corrupt, military is corrupt, that the judiciary is corrupt, and then the parliament is corrupt, that there are huge abuses of power in all levels on the state of the state. That's what it states when we see the narration or the script. We say, what is your response to this?
I mean, it's quite hard to respond to baseless allegations and accusations and something that had no evidence in the report to suggest that this is the case. We know that they are fed up, I don't know for what reason, but that's the reason why they are all living outside of the country. Probably they don't love this nation. I love my motherland. I wouldn't say anything to hurt this nation, but they are doing all they can to destroy the economy of this country. So, how much they say if there is no evidence to suggest. Even a small amount of some strength into what they have said. If they had something, then we would be able to respond to it. But it's just to respond to hearsay. I could say many things on this program, but then it won't be responsible. I wouldn't be responsible if I said that. But I have to have some sort of evidence, some base when I say something. There was nothing in that case. You can say that everyone in this country is corrupt, but then where is evidence to suggest that? It has to be backed by evidence. There was no evidence.
What about those who are interviewed in the program or the documentary? Are you aware of any of those people? Do you think where they are credible, in what line?
Yeah, I know 2 or 3 of them, but I mean, where is their credibility? These are people who are being investigated, who have been, I mean, arrest warrants have been, international arrest warrants have been released on people. It is very obvious that they want to get some sort of sympathy from international community to exonerate themselves from the case. And we see increasingly clearly that what the opposition and these people, what they are doing is try to get asylum, refuge in other country. And they are very successful at that. I give them that. They are very successful in that. Even in this case, these are the people that we want to actually question. We want to find out what happened to MMRC money. But then Al Jazeera and other international news agents, for example, if they take their side and try to hide them, then they are giving, actually, they are not working against corruption. In fact, they are helping some corrupt people. So those people, where's the credibility? I mean, who has any credibility in this, and who can give an unbiased statement on the case? They have been alleged of being the people who has taken this money from the coffers of the government. But then they are the people who is trying to give a statement against someone whom they have no evidence against.
In the report, they talk about some kind of network. Like, what about the Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia connection? The claims that prominent money launderers from these countries assisted the president launder money, as they say in the report.
No, it was a joke. I thought it was like a movie. It was quite interesting to hear what this gentleman was saying. But none, in all that conversation, undercover and also on record, confined to him, he did not mention anything about President Jammeh or even the Maldives. Yes, the gentleman who was in the documentary talked about laundering money, but to an Asian country. Which country? Did not say even once it was Maldives. Did not even say once it was President Jammeh. So where are the evidence? So it was quite a desperate attempt at actually smearing a good name of the president and the country, I would add. But I think this country is, we all in this country know very well that it was just a smear campaign, nothing else, because there was no evidence.
And then they have what amount of to eyewitness testimony, because we have seen some testimonies as well of some people claiming to have handed the money, corrupt and illegal money for the president, and then not only bank transaction receipts actually, but there are claims they have personally handed, as previously you mentioned, handed over some bags of money to the president. How do you explain this? I just wanted to repeat, because they have keep on stressed on these transactions and some SMSs as well.
Like I said, you have to first think about who these people are. These are the people that we are trying to get to question with regard to the corruption case that happened in MMPRC. And these are the people who only says that they have handed over money to the president, but none of them can give any evidence to suggest that they have done so. Like I said, on one case, when he was talking about the 100,000, it doesn't add up. Simply 100 into 100 is 10,000. If 2 bundle of $100 note bill is $20,000, it's not $100,000, as he claimed. So it's just baseless. It's very difficult, like I said, to respond to something that is so baseless. There's no logic in what they have presented. MMA cannot be a private bank here. Private people cannot make transactions in MMA. So how do you even try to respond to a question that is completely unjustified and baseless?
We have much more to say. We'll be back after a short commercial break. Stay tuned with us. Welcome back. You're watching Television Maldives program, Talk Maldives special edition on Still in Paradise. Tonight we have in-house Fisheries Minister Dr. Mohamed Shainee. Doctor, we were talking about the Still in Paradise program already, the accusations. We have talked about a lot before the advertisement. What is your response to claim that your administration has intimidated journalists and other independent bodies for doing their job, it says? And then 2 journalists were deported recently. We saw a TV station get torched in the video, and the former Auditor General claims to have been fired for bringing the corruption to the attention to the president. This is all what they've stated or they mentioned in the documentary. How far is this true?
Well, I mean, again, this is quite funny to hear that the intimidation of the journalists. I mean, how many within this small capital or the population wise, how many TV channels do we have? I mean, when a local Maldivian is asked for some of the name of the given name of the TV channel, they are aligned with opposition or aligned with somebody, political figure or aligned with someone. We all know about those. Most of the programs showed in a lot of these programs or aligned these TV channels are aligned with opposition. This country have complete freedom of journalism. They can say whatever they say. On social media, on Facebook, on internet, you see all sort of pictures, even defamatory nature. But the government does not crack down on that. So, I mean, in the case of the deportation, yes, this country, even it's a small country, we have our laws and regulations. What does why do they want to hide and come on under tourist visa? They could apply for proper special visa or visa that gives them the right to freely film in the country. In a responsible journalism, you give 2 sides of the story. Why do they have to be hiding? So I don't think these accusations are correct. And then when you talk about the Auditor General, I mean, it was amendment to the law where he was also invited to put his name forward, but he did not put his name forward for the job. And we know how unbiased or biased he is when he investigated the case, the famous case after which he resigned. He was investigating a person. The relevant law actually does not allow him to investigate one person or audit one person. He has to audit the institution, but he went and investigated just at the time Tourism Minister Adib. So that itself was biased in its nature. So there's no credibility to his claim either. And whatever report he has published, it was investigated, it was sent for investigation. In SEC, he claims that President Jammeh did not do anything. Of course, he wouldn't do anything because he doesn't have that power. We have a separation of powers. If the Auditor General submits a report to the government sends it to the Anti-Corruption Commission and the police to investigate. And the case is being investigated. Some of them have been investigated. But President Jammeh is not an autocratic president where he sues people just based on auditor reports or Auditor General's report. He has to also bind by the set procedures and the norms. So yes, the report was sent to ACC and it is investigated. So again, it's just baseless.
When we saw that documentary, we saw the former Auditor General being so emotional.
Yeah.
Some pictures he saw on the spot and he was kind of shocked. Yeah. Like there was statement saying the findings that the Al Jazeera have, they said they were about to have burn the house or make fire on his house. That much it was arranged and he was on fear. On the spot he didn't knew that this was going to happen.
Yeah. I think at the time of his resignation, he did claim as well, and it was there were some claims that his family was issued death threats. But this seems to be everyday thing that people claim. I'm sorry that if it happened, that it has happened to his family. But then again, like I said, it's very difficult to comment on something which I don't believe is credible. The whole report is baseless.
Since 2 journalists were deported recently, and it keep on saying towards the media house. When we visit this, let's say not us or not me, when any foreign person any foreign audience see the report, they see we don't have any place here to practice journalism. Is it in the Maldives we are doing responsible journalism? One question. The other question is media controlled, or is the government try to attack any of the media house over here in the country?
No, this is what I was just saying. I mean, how many media channels are in this country? When you talk about per capita, for example, the population, number of TV channels for this small country, there are a lot. Government does not stop them. And then with regard to torching up the Raja TV, I mean, again, I mean, where is the evidence to suggest that it was the government? And even in the report, it was suggested that it was someone who did it, but it's not the government who did it. And then at the same time, I would refer to the statements at that time where it suggested that it could be a setup as well, because within 10 hours they were up and running. How could a completely burned TV station come back live in 10 hours? So there are a lot of these allegations on both sides, and it's not right for me to elaborate more when there is no evidence against it. Definitely the government did not torch any of these places. Well, it is a fact that in fact VTV was torched by MDP protesters. The case was investigated. The people were convicted. It is a fact that in many of the islands right after the 7th of February, a lot of these courthouses, police were torched. The case is investigated. There was evidence. There were videos, in fact. So we can talk about those that have, I mean that we have facts. But on something that hearsay or someone saying something does not give me a chance to respond correctly to any of these. So apart from saying they are baseless allegations, where is the evidence?
Recently, President has ratified the defamation bill, and we are to act on it. Is the defamation bill strict to practice responsible journalism?
I don't think. I think it makes us more responsible, because there are newscasters or journalists who does very good job in bringing both sides of the stories, investigative reports, very academic reports. But then compared to that, someone just sitting at home just sending out a baseless article on someone I mean defamatory in nature, that doesn't actually help the journalism in this country. So what were the rights of the people who actually does some work, try to get contact and get interviews, do proper research, and then publish their report, compared to that others who doesn't do anything and just baseless allegations. So I think it helps. And then when you compare with the other countries, I mean defamation is a criminal offense in many states, including those that some people say have released statements. So we also have our right. This is, like I said, you have to talk in the context of the country. It's a very small country, very niche society. We are known to be a very niche society, very close. The next person, even he is in the opposition or she is in the opposition. We are a very close society. So it is very difficult when baseless defamatory allegations or language is used against someone in the open daylight. So yes, we have to act responsibly, and I don't think it's strict.
How much access do we have for the foreign journalists to come and practice over here? What are the procedures? Do any foreign journalist has right to come here and investigate any such case of any cases, maybe in kind of case mentioned in the documentary?
Of course, we welcome them to come and do proper documentary. It has to be responsible. We have to know, let us know what they want from us. We are not, we won't shy away from that. But what we ask is to be responsible and respect the life of this, the people of this country. Don't be drawn into some people that try to smear the good name of the country.
When we see the the documentary, it was mostly about the big share of the documentary was about the alleged cases of corruption, and then they say one of the case was the Macau Island case. It mentions it is the one of the most corrupted case within the tourism sector. What's your say on this?
So actually, I was quite delighted to see that statement, because that itself, if you correctly investigate, shows the level of investigation that the journalists have done and how baseless this report is. Because what it refers to is open tendering of resorts. I think the journalist probably may not know that there was a change in law. Earlier we used to bid for bed. So for number of beds that you have in the resort, for example, it's a 100-bed resort, you bid for the bed. But the case was changed, and we changed the constitution the law to say that tourism lease is per square meter rent. So the rent is fixed. So anymore you don't get those kind of bidding processes. And by the way, from President Mahmoud's time, the constitution or the law allows, and it has been practiced, closed bidding has been practiced, and it has been most popular, in fact. So this is not something that this government has done new. President Nasheed has done so many islands, President Wahid has done so many islands, and President Mahmoud has done many islands on closed bid basis as well. But this is under President Jameen's government. We have made it transparent. We have put one more transparency step where these cases we have to put in acquisition cost that has been actually determined. It's been gazetted. And then the law also asks the Auditor General and the Anti-Corruption Commission to approve before island is given, that is now. But then based on those rates that has been published, for example, we are talking about an island most local people know as Macau, which is in Dal Atoll. The rate acquisition cost, or the rate of rate is $300,000 per hectare. This island in Dal Atoll have 6 hectares according to our databases. It has 6 hectares. So if you calculate $300,000 times 6 hectares, plus there is a premium, there is a location premium, which is again 300,000. When you add up, it's about 2.1 million. In this case, the Auditor General claims that the government received 2.5 million, which I would say is a fair amount of money to the government. So he proves to the public and everyone else that it was a fair deal. And of course, any case of corruption that they allege was, there was no evidence to it. That's why I'm saying again that actually the attempt was here to destroy the economy of the country by portraying that the tourism industry is corrupt. No. It's not the case. Yes, we had some issues, and those cases have been investigated. Some of the case, some of the people have been convicted, and there are some more to come. But where in the world you don't have corruption? Like I said, the difference is here that President Yameen is willing and he has the courage to go against these people, regardless who it is. So yes, if there is any corruption, we will deal with it. But it was very funny that, like you said, it was reported as being one of the worst cases of corruption. But it proved to be a very good case, not corruption, but in terms of the revenue to the government. Because under the current rates, we could only get 2.1 million to this island, but the government got 2.5 according to the Auditor General. I don't know actually that was the amount, but it was based on the report.
We heard that government has, requested Al Jazeera to hand over all those evidence, whatever they have, or what are the investigation that took place, any evidence they have to hand over the government. But my question is, why would government need it? Why has the government has requested to the Al Jazeera to have it back? Why?
Like any responsible government, if the international channel like Al Jazeera claims that they have evidence to suggest that there has been wide corruption in the case, we would be very interested to investigate that. We haven't seen anything in the documents or in the documentary rather. So the government have asked or requested if there is any such thing, please provide to us, we will investigate the case. You talk about the SMS. I mean, the whole report seems to be based on apparently the Adib's phone. But then it's quite funny for me, to me, that I mean, they say that they received a copy or an image of his phone from someone. How have they verified that this copy or image was untempered? They claim that they don't have the phones, or they don't have the physical phone with them. They have got a copy or an image of the content of Adib's phone. So in that case, if someone has sent something to them, haven't they asked the question whether it was tempered? If they were responsible, why didn't they further investigate by asking the government to show the documents or to the institution's files, whether these existed or not? When you talk about the SMS, the report suggested that all the information came from this copied image from Adib's phone. But then there were conversations alleged to be from President Jammeh to Umar Nasir. But then Umar publicly have denied this, and he has publicly tweeted saying that he did not receive any such message from President, or he has sent any message to the President. And then those who don't know, for example, the situation in the Maldives, Umar Nasir is a contender already to the 2018 presidential election. He was he stood against President Jammeh in 2013 as well. And he is one of those cabinet ministers who were asked to resign, who resigned from the government. So I don't think anyone would align him with the president, saying that it was because of presidents have said him to say so. But he himself have distanced from this because there was no truth to it. So these kind of SMS messages can be made up by anyone. I can create. You see now today on social media, there are tons of these similar image, similar SMS going around on various issues. This can be easily made up. But then government is asking if there is any evidence, please provide to us. We will investigate that. And we are responsible government. We will do that.
The documentary shows that lately former Vice President Adib lately was joyfully traveling all over the world, meeting Chinese President Xi Jinping and whatever leaders they mentioned in the report. And then they used to say he used to have gadgets like expensive cars and all of the gadgets. And when you arrested him, what are the gadgets he has? And mostly in the documentary they were using his SMS, conversations. When the government arrested Adib, do he has his own phone? If how many phones he has, we don't know. When he was arrested, is there was any phone with him, or there was any chance to take his phone out of the jail or wherever now he is? Is there was any chance that they can get the copy of his phone?
I won't respond to the exact question because it's a personal matter. I mean, it was for me quite ludicrous that a responsible journalist could comment on his physical feature. That was for me ridiculous. Is that responsible? No, this is his personal matter. His haircuts, what he wear, is up to him. I mean, is that also corruption? That is ludicrous. But then with regard to the phone, I think the report clearly says that before he was arrested, he was able to give his phone to a colleague who shipped it out, and they got a copy. So that is what the report says. I'm not aware of any of the phones that he had been given away. But yes, he was traveling around. He was the vice president of the country. He was the vice president of the political party that the PPM. He was earlier the tourism minister. So of course, yes, he was traveling. But does that have anything to do with corruption cases? And the more importantly, does it have anything to do with President Jammeh? The whole report talks about Adib and his behaviors or how he has been, and then quickly connects it to Yamin. I mean, how do you do that? Where's the evidence? There was no evidence, none from those who were interviewed, none from any of the document or SMS. The only SMS that seemed to that they have shown is from between Umar and President Jammeh, which Umar clearly and publicly denies sending or receiving any message of any sort like that. So you tell me where's the logic and where's the basis of this? So for me, the whole report is actually, I mean, one more thing that you can look into, and I don't think a lot of people have seen, the report that the Will Jordan has published on Al Jazeera has a lot more information on it. In the report, he claims that President Nasheed has bribed or given money to President Maumoon as well. And with that, President Nasheed today have denied the allegations, and even the report suggests that he denied. But the report says clearly that they have enough evidence to suggest that they have Nasheed gave $50,000 to President Maumoon as well. But none of this actually appeared in the report. It seems that they have handpicked or edited the report to only try a desperate attempt at President Jammeh. So anyone who reads the entire report will really understand that there is no basis of the claims that the reporter is making. Because in a responsible journalism, I think you bring both sides of the stories. In his own report, there are allegations against President Nasheed. But on one part of the report, in which he has taken, he tried to give credit to President Nasheed and present the whole case as it was true. But on the same report, there are allegations against President Nasheed that he has rejected, and he doesn't say anything about it. So this itself shows that this report is quite unjustified, just allegations, baseless. It's like I said, it's just a very, very desperate attempt at bringing down this government. It's as a desperate attempt to fracture the society. It's a desperate attempt at killing the economy. But inshallah, this country is protected by Allah. We are 100% Muslims. This will not happen to this country, not anymore.
This actually, we could say this report, either the documentary is to frame or is a agenda against the government of Maldives, we could say. What will the government say? Is there would be any aftermath or any after effect because of this documentary to the country, the economy wise or the government?
I mean, I have to analyze and see what would be the effect. But I think who listens to the documentary or see the documentary and read the report and really know Maldives will know this is baseless. There is no truth to it. And for me, what has happened from this is actually even the opposition members have understood that, and they were desperately waiting for some new evidence as suggested by the opposition leaders. But nothing was presented. This was all allegations thrown against each other during the last election and so forth. So there's nothing new against President Nasheed that they claim that they have, because President Jammeh has done nothing wrong. The only thing he is doing is taking risks of taking this country to the next level in the economy to get the social benefits to the people and the development. And the report claimed that most people live in a slum. It is an appalling statement. This government has done more than any other government in the history of the country to bring the development to the people. The public service infrastructure projects have doubled within the 2 years of President Jammeh. The economy has grown so much compared to President Nasheed's time. The budget has grown. We have had more development projects than any other government in the past. We have 24 hours electricity, first time in the country. 2/3 of the country is aligned to get drinking water in just 5 years of President Jammeh's time. Yes, it was appalling during the President Nasheed's time because there was so much corruption that had happened. Everyone knows about it. They have some of them have accepted by paying the amount that they have taken. The other cases are being investigated. So this government is very responsible government. If there is a case, we are not saying that there won't be a case. If there is a case, regardless who it is, will be investigated. And President Jammeh is one person who will not bow down to the pressure to bring this country to the next level. Economically, he will take the risks that he is taking now, but they are calculated risks, and we have proven that this is calculated risks. At one time, we were referred to say that we are taking too much debt, but today IMF and others are saying that we are very responsible. The first time credit rating showed that we are better than any other country in this area. That shows the strength of economic experience that President Jammeh and what he is doing to this country.
Any kind of this production comes out, government suspects the opposition figures are behind this kind of productions or any kind of media agenda against the country. Every time there is one of our men behind that. What's your message to the people who are under the cover or behind these kind of stories or behind any of these kind of productions or any kind of media agenda?
No, what I've said earlier as well is that the people of this country learns very quickly from experience. We have seen this happening many times, or a few times at least, in terms of coups, in terms of bringing down governments, but we have come over it. We are ready for whatever the opposition is trying to do, and we know, and with the will of God, this country will steer towards the goal that we have set to achieve. President Jammeh will not, like I said, divert from his course to bring the development to the country, to the people, the social well-being that he ought to bring to the country. He will deliver, inshallah, by 2018. The country will see, the people will know that there is one leader who really does not care about his political career, but he wants to make a point, and that is President Jammeh. He makes very, very bold decisions, economically, socially. If a politician, I mean, like any other politician, wouldn't things that they wouldn't do, but he takes these risks because for the betterment of for this country, for our people. So I'm 100% sure that people of this country note that, and people in the islands see that there are projects happening in the islands, and we have a very good support base by the public. It's just few people, like you said, who are very selfish, who want to fracture the social fabric of this country, but they will not be successful.
We are to conclude this special edition of the Talk Maldives. If you have anything to add on or to stress on, you have the chance to do that.
No, I would only stress to the public that be patient, but at the same time be very cautious of what the opposition is trying to do. There are tactics used by politicians to bring down a government, but this government will not that happen. It will not happen. The cabinet is very strong. All the members of the parliament who really believes in what President Jammeh is doing to their constituency is very firm behind President Jammeh. We will not allow any coup or any attempt as such to take place in this country. We stand as a strong team.
Thank you, Minister Shainee, for being here with us for tonight in this special edition of Talk Maldives.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you very much. That's it for the special edition of Talk Maldives. Until next time, goodbye. Keep watching.